So 2025 has been quite the year, and in this video, we're gonna take a look back and I'm gonna show you two new machines we picked up, one being a really cool automation solution, as well as how we reconfigured our shop yet again for optimum flow and layout. Let's get started. Okay, so this is machine one of three, technically four if you include the robot, but they skated it out so they could access it. We have a narrow aisle here, so they're grabbing the machine from the side. They're gonna back out, drive it down, set it on skates, position it in the corner. This is my oldest machine in the shop, at least the oldest mill. It's a 20, I wanna say 14 or 15 VF2. So coming up on 10 years old. It's amazing. It's still a workhorse. It produces lots of our pallets, lots of our customs, our turnkey solutions, because it's a machine that doesn't have a lot of tools. And so we're usually setting up for custom work anyways. So it's kind of our flex machine in the shop. It doesn't interfere with any of the production machines. Okay, I know I like these guys. First riggers I've ever worked with that brought a laser rangefinder, laser tape measure essentially. Usually I'm the one calling out the shots. He said, keep going, about another 1/4 inch. That's the precision I want to see from my riggers.
16, you okay with that?
That's good, good to go. Okay, we got one machine in place. Quick tip, this is what I like to do. I like to lay out the shop in Fusion. I have a full, pretty exact model of the entire shop, including lights, air, electrical in Fusion. I downloaded the models of the VFs from the Haas website. It's great. I actually had to go through and delete components just to cut down on the file size. It's good, you like that detail. But then I taped off the floor with the corners representing where the machines go. It's a really easy reference for pretty much anyone, because sometimes like what's the reference? Do you measure off of the wall, off of the lights, air, electrical, like something that doesn't move? Well, pre-laying it out with the taped corners, pretty much everyone gets it. So older VF2, newer or younger VF2, new grinder, which comes in 1 week, and then old grinder. So the strategy is when the new grinder gets here, it gets commissioned. We know we're making good parts. Then we'll decommission or disconnect the old grinder, move it over here. Then we can go back to 2 grinders working. We only have 1 grinder in the whole company, so we can't have both of them shut down all at once. That would be bad. Next up, we are sliding our VM3 over. We're moving it about 4 feet because we're gonna put a Universal Robots UR10 on one end, on the right-hand side. And then this space where the VF2 was, we're gonna make a proper tool crib and inspection kind of area that is centrally located around all the mills. Let's check it out. I just realized something. I didn't tape the floor. So, because we made the decision, up there you have the air and power drops, and we shorten them, and whatever the distance that we shorten them, that's how far we're gonna move it. So we're just gonna wing it on this one. It only needs to be square-ish with the adjacent machine, which is a good like 15 feet away from it. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I didn't mark the floor, but we're just gonna push it, and then we're gonna call out to them when to stop, when they're below the utilities. So we measured about 42 inches.
Well, we have some fluff with the, because we have extra flex.
Okay.
So that can S a little bit.
Okay.
So you know,
and the max line is flex
yeah,
on the
so
way
I
down
would
too.
prioritize getting it where it really needs to be, and
Right.
then we'll adjust the utilities because we have some
Yeah.
adjustability there.
You can hook this back up. Once it's placed, I'll put the air on.
Start leveling right away.
Yeah.
Start leveling. We can have it running by the morning.
Yep. And by morning, you mean this afternoon? Okay. You guys ready to push?
Yeah.
Okay.
You just want to straighten?
Yeah. Ideally, I mean, we were thinking of bringing it forward, but sometimes we need to get in with the forklift. So we're going to keep it straight right here. Okay. So. All right, stop right there. We better get Alex in on this. Alex is currently working on a setup, which is good, but this is kind of a important decision, multi-year decision, so we'll break his concentration. Okay, picture, tool crib, all that stuff. You and I talked, we're not gonna bring it forward because we have the forklift going in, but how does this feel? Like,
I think it's fine because we're going to have the picture part over here,
okay,
and then it's not a lot of tooling.
yeah, okay. So it's just gonna be this open section.
Yeah.
8 feet,
8 usable.
yeah.
Yeah.
8 feet feels good, right?
Yeah, 'cause you could put that in the back and then the tool setter on the side. And
Yep.
on the front. Sounds pretty good.
You're thinking like a U-shaped thing? Yeah, I like that. Okay,
We're not really going over there.
right. Yeah, rarely do you ever go here, right?
It's just a,
Just a chip barrel?
yeah,
Okay, all right.
and then they're on wheels, so we don't move that.
They are on wheels. Okay. All right, I think it's good. Yeah. Okay, so the discussion is, because we can move it, should we move it forward? It takes up space when we need to load it with forklift type stuff. Do we keep it where it is? It's a very tight squeeze if we get the scissor lift in here.
There's a 1/4 inch clearance.
1/4 inch.
So
okay,
an 1/8
we
inch
should,
on each side.
We should definitely go that way just a little bit. So that's the answer to that. What's the width of the lift?
31 1/4.
31 1/4, okay. Yeah, so we're gonna want a little bit extra space. Eighth, that's good. Yeah. Okay, so we moved it over 44 inches. We moved it forward about 3 inches just to give ourselves a little bit more space in the back for our scissor lift so we can maintain stuff. And then it came down to squareness. So what do we square it off of? Normally the walls, well, we can't shoot the walls. So of course the rigger's like, well, we can shoot the face of the machine, the other machine that's square to the walls. So that's what we did. It's off by 1/8, which is good for us. Perfection is the enemy of progress. We still got a lot more progress we need to make. Machine number 3 to be moved is our VF2C. Tells me it was the 3rd VF2 that I bought. It's not a Haas designation, just our C model. And so same thing. I'm curious if they're going to fork it or skate it the whole way. I think they're going to fork it. Most of the times, just too far to move, but every move, there's always something that surprises me. Let's see how this one goes. Speaking of things I've never seen. So because we're not moving across town or across the country, these spindles are typically blocked to the table. The reason they do that is to keep the table from moving. The column has a brake on it, and then what you do is you jog it down into a cup, like a red box sometimes. That bolts down to the table. Because it is just a short move, we didn't box it down. It's not that big of a deal. The table's not gonna move. But what they opted to do was to adjust the center of gravity. One of the guys got in there and physically pushed on the table and drove the ball screws to adjust the center of gravity so this would be a little bit more level. I never would have expected that. It's definitely a first. So the first machine, I asked our lead guy here, Mike, hey, you want us to move these carts? I mean, we can easily do it. He looked at me with a smile and he said, nah, it makes things exciting. I mean, it looks crooked to me, but I mean, the laser doesn't lie. It is perfectly square to the wall. It's hard to pick up like actual lines and things like that. I laid out the floor using a laser level after hours with the lights off. So I know everything's square and he's shooting it off the back. So we're gonna trust the math on this. The measurements say it's square.
Jay?
Yeah.
I don't know if this crack is superficial or not,
Oh, okay.
but you see how this pad is right on it?
So the best made plans are always going to be subject to change. One of the things I did not notice in my highly detailed fusion model of the shop is these lines, these saw cut lines in the concrete. Now, when they poured the slab for this building, it's all one monolithic slab, but then they go in and they cut these grooves. It's like I can't remember the name, but it's like a strain relief or, cracks will form there instead of in the slab. These are not actual separate pads, but they are, if there is a weak spot in the 6-inch thickness of concrete, it's gonna be where that is. So one of the pads was landing right on the crack. So we moved it over just about 2 or 3 inches. It cut down a little bit of space here, but really we've got plenty of access all the way around both sides of the machines. So I'd rather prioritize a good solid foundation than 2 or 3 inches of clearance. It's barely a discussion, but we made that call on the fly. So the fourth piece and final piece of equipment we're moving today is the Haas Pallet robot, the RPL. We're just about 45 minutes away from the Haas factory. So they just do like a basic tarping. And it's interesting because this is a new product for Haas. So I'm curious as like what this will look like when other customers take delivery of these over the years. I see a little water coming off, which is not too concerning because it's protected. We had rain last week, but this is where we see if we're good to go. Okay, so I know it doesn't look like much to the average person that has not seen this, but I've seen this multiple times at the factory for a tour at IMTS 2024, and I get it. So load station, robotic shelf, the robot itself, the VF or the machine we're putting next to VF2 would sit here. So one thing is cool is it comes on a forkliftable base foundation. So that just goes into place. So far, I'm loving what I see. Yeah, this is fun. So the FANUC control box, obviously the robot. It comes with its own 0-point system. We're gonna see if we can swap it out for our Max 4 rotary pallet system. We just feel it's more versatile and more of a standard across our entire shop that we can just move our Pierson Max 4 pallets around to different machines rather than having multiple standards. So we're gonna swap that out. But I thought this was funny. It's kind of like the robot thinking as it's being transported. This is cool to see. So the robot is being forked into place. And meanwhile, John and Carlos have tag teamed it where we have the machine powered up and connected to air, and they're gonna go through the leveling process. So trying to shrink that window of downtime. The plan is working really well. So I think what's going on is it's tricky to get in here with a pallet jack, lift it up, which is only lifting one side, and get the skates out. So there's a total of 3 skates, one in the front left, back left, and then one in the center here. So we've got 2 of them out. It'd be really easy if we could just go in with a forklift, which is I think what we might do with another pallet jack, but it's really neat to see the creativity with these riggers, to see like how they actually get big things in tight spaces. So all the rigging is done. So we have the robot, which was last. We had the VM moved over, so that's created some nice space. And then at the back, formerly unused part of the shop, we have the 2 VF2s there. And then we're gonna have a new grinder delivered in a week, and then move our existing old grinder over there so that they, again, don't overlap. So here we are several months later. We've been using the Haas robotic pallet loader successfully for several months. We've had some kind of like cleanliness issues, some things that were kind of not thought about, like how do you open the door when you blow off pallets, like where do the chips go? Like in the horizontal, it just goes into the pallet pool. Here, it goes everywhere. When the robot comes out, like what do you do there with there's chips and coolant? So we've had some kind of DIY workarounds. The other thing is the pallets themselves. We realized that we wanted to have like a large mix of pallets, and for the price around $250, $300 for one pallet with pull studs and everything, there's a lot of value there. We just didn't want to like cut them and then realize we needed something. Also, they're on the thinner side, so that we wanted to go deeper. We wanted to go maybe like, we wanted to be able to make mistakes basically. So we opted to make those master pallets, and we just had big, thick chunks of material that we bolted on. Now, this is a huge subject talking about this robot. I realized that at this part in this video, I could go on for a long time. I'm gonna opt to make this a dedicated video. So if you haven't, consider subscribing and hit that notification button so that you don't miss, more of the series. Speaking of automation, let's go look at what we've done on the VM, because we've got a universal robot UR10 that we repurposed. Let's go take a look at that. Okay, so we had to move the VM over. That created space for this UR10. Now we reconfigured this. This used to be our pallet robot, which would pick up a pallet. I did a whole robotics video about that, the story of getting back into automation. So that machine, that whole process kind of got replaced by our EC400, which runs pallets, kind of lights out overnight, unattended. Same thing, but we wanted to harness the power of automation in the VM to do kind of like high volume, low profit, low dollar amount parts. So this is great. We've already got the Robotic camera. We've got the Duvetine. It picks up. We're working on a new configuration here where we put a stack of parts and then it picks it up. I'll show you that. This requires its own video as well. We're not done with UR. Let's walk around the corner. Little Easter egg. I'll show you another UR5 that we deployed and show you how that works. Again, that one too would probably be best as another breakout video. Let's take a look. Okay, so we have a UR5, kind of their smaller robot. We hired a robotic integrator, build us an auto door, built us like a manual or override door, interlock, so you can just go open, close, that type of thing. It's kind of neat. It doesn't require the robot to be on. Very nice touch that you get when you hire professional integrators, not amateurs like us. But really what one of the suggestions was we just use kind of like knockoff Legos. And then using the Legos, it gives us a platform that we can locate accurately, repeatably. And then we use our 3D printers. Now these parts run pins and bushings that are hardened, like in the 60 Rockwell. They come back here for some hard turning, which isn't a coolant operation. And so it'll pick it up, it'll load it. And we built these little things so you could either put a pin or a bushing on top, which is a really nice touch. In a nutshell, you tell it the first position and the last position and then the frequency, and it will just pick all day. We've been flying through this. Last thing before we wrap up this video, let's take a look at the grinder that came in a few months ago as well. Okay, so maybe you saw this in our last video about our lean day where we shut down the shop. This is our Chevalier FSG 1632 AD4. Mouthful of a machine, super powerful, huge wheel, lots of surface area. It's been so far great. I looked at different brands. I just couldn't pass up on Chevalier. It's actually more feature rich than one of the Okamotos I was looking at. And the grinding on this thing has been absolutely like dead nuts accurate. It's pretty amazing. One thing was the hydraulic cylinder on this motion. I think it's X cross slide. These are a little bit different. This is Z, this is Y, and this is X. That cylinder went out, but Chevalier was really good to come out and replace it. So this is producing some good stuff. Obviously, we'd had to made some like fixes. It doesn't have an enclosure. That wasn't an option for me to buy this when it was in stock. We have like the plexiglass thing, the splash guards, all those little things that you do to like customize machines. Again, like I said, if you haven't yet subscribed, consider subscribing, notification bell so that you catch the next video when we launch our automation series talking about all the different things. Last thing, if you think automation is the first step you go towards to be a really great manufacturer, it's actually one of the last ones. In fact, when we think about it, it's step number 5 of 5. So until next time, go innovate your production.